Hello chipsters, it's Gav. Welcome to another one of my videos. Just a quick pop-up vid as I've just finished priming these and some other bits and pieces and putting a bit of a base coat down on the Stummel. So just want to show these guys off again. Hang on, let me actually put them on. I'll put a card background and if that's going to help. Right, can we hold them against that? That's better. Yep. Again, really chuffed with how these sculpts are. So as I say, I just got some support weapons, 2 packs of Germans and a pack of Americans, all for the late war period. The Americans can also be used for Korea. The Germans come in a variety of, I think that's why I like to paint the Germans a lot. It's as in the late war or mid to late war, because there is such a variety in, you know, what they're actually wearing. It's a 30 cal, American 30 cal gunner. The business end. I just thought, now the shine's off them, you know, they're not bare metal, just have a quick throw these up, and that's my favourite, I think, out of the lot. I think that's just a really good pose. Coiling them on, got some wrapped belt round there. I've twisted this. I mean, I think the bipod, I'm not sure if the bipod could twist or not. I've twisted it on purpose and just anchored it into the Zelt barn that's rolled up there, just so it'll just get knocked off if it's hanging free. You could cut them and just put them against, obviously on the travelling position underneath the barrel. But I thought, no, that's he's obviously with his belt wrapped round, he's either just moving position. So yeah, as I say, just a quick throw these up, you can get a better look at them. I did channel out the end of that one. I thought they had end caps to these, and I don't believe they do, and like a Burke, I've left the other one solid. I'm not sure why they do the end of the barrel there. I don't think I, on the 30 cal, don't think I drilled that out with my memory. I can't remember. I might have done, but I don't think I did. I think that was already like that. Another good pose. Number 2 with the ammo, and he's got his own bandoliers as well. Another 30 cal gunner. Cap comforter underneath the helmet. I say it's just a lot easier to see him in primer. Scott from Liberator 240 channel, these are all done with the airbrush. You know, when we were talking about, well, we weren't talking, but through the comments, I said, you know, I said a couple of times, have you thought about getting a cheap airbrush and compressor? I mean, you'll pick a cheap Chinese airbrush and a compressor up for like under 50 quid. Especially if you're just going to use it for priming, but you can get in most places. Well, all the places really. They come, sometimes I miss a bit, especially when the primer's still shiny. I mean, these have about 3 coats of primer sprayed over. I'll show you the primer I use in a minute. It's the same stuff I use for my modelling, as it's a metal and plastic primer. So there's no etch priming or anything gone on these. It's just gone straight on. Yeah, like a Burke, I've left these solid. I'm not going to faff around with it now, because I stick these on with 10-minute wood glue, PVA wood glue, because they literally just snap off really easy when you finish with them. You just peel it off. I'll just have to black those out. I'm not going to try and drill those out now. Is that everybody? Yeah, I think that was everybody. So yeah, this is my primer of choice I use on my models and on my figures. It doesn't say there, but it says on the adverts, like, does it say? high quality, great grip and resistance, paints, acrylics, enamels, oils. It doesn't say there, but it normally says it can be used on photo etch and that. So if it can be used on photo etch, it can be used on my figures, and it seems to work. Can anybody guess what type of aircraft this is? It's in 1 in 72 scale. That should give you a better look. It's a little Airfix one, and unfortunately it bows like a banana. Let me give you a quick squeeze. It wasn't supposed to be about this, but hey. Lovely little kit. I mean, really, really nice. And the fuselage will, I'm hoping. But it's like, it really is. Choose, pick which bit you want. But yeah, does anybody know what type of aircraft and what mark it is? No, it's not a starfighter. Just pulled it out a couple of days ago. I've been waiting all this time for the weather to change. We've been having real gales and chucking down a rain and whatever. So and then before that it was really icy cold. So you know, it was trying to fight your way through the weather to well, not fight your way through, but this is a little Stummel. Just had its base coat, about 3 or 4 coats on there. I've left only a couple of coats in there just because I wanted the more shadow effect. I made some rounds, as I said, and put a little brace across it and a little where you place the rounds, I can't remember now. And so a couple of little steering wheels and gear levers and easy chairs to be done. I've got another piece that goes on top, so you won't see a lot of this. Once this piece goes on top, you won't. Sorry, I've got the windows open to get the lacquer out, but you won't see a lot of that. Not really much point showing you the other couple of bits, but there we go. See, the Stummel is finally getting some love. And so it was just the weather. I was almost going. I don't like to brush paint the entire. It's weird. I'm going to do brush painting because it worked on the Hornies, but I didn't want to do it. I don't like doing the base coats because I'm not good enough, and you get to see the brush marks through it. So trust that dog to start now. So yeah, that's going to be the Stummel, and it should be being put together and painted tomorrow when that goes off a bit more. So yeah, thank you very much for stopping by and taking a look. It's mainly just to show you these guys again. I just think they're really, really nice. So they've got no connection with Empress. I just think they're brilliant. I'm saying brilliant now, have I? The one thing that you will find with these guys, and I'm just looking at that now, I have to get my magnifying glasses on in a bit. I really hope that isn't it does look like a mould line going up there, which means I'm going to have to scrape it back, and I just use some brush painted acrylic, not acrylic, if I have to, I use this stuff. Never put it through the airbrush because it just gunks up like cottage cheese, but I use the surface primer. It's got the plasticizer type stuff in it, polyurethane plasticizer, and it's just as good on the. I paint metal figures with that, and no problem. But I brush paint it on. If you do brush paint it on, just keep blowing the figure just to blow, because it will go into like little air bubbles and that, and you just need to blow it. But I'll check that out afterwards. It very much looks like a mould line. So that's the only thing I can. Well, it's not even a mark down really, because they're really easy to remove, but they're really hard to see. That's all. So. That looks like I've not cleaned that up enough. I've managed to get it on the other side. So I'll be going through those in a minute and taking another look. It's not the Vietnam figures I do. I had the same thing. You think you're great, primed, cleaned, washed off, primed, and you end up. And I also wipe these down with a cotton bud, or not cotton bud. Sorry, that's for the models. A paintbrush, an old paintbrush. I wipe them down once I've washed them off again. Before priming, I wipe them down with some IPA, because that will evaporate really quick, and it just gives you one last degreasing before you start painting. But yeah, they've got rather than like some companies that got really chunky mould lines, these are really, really thin. But because they're in such dynamic poses, sometimes it can be hard to track them. So it's just something to bear in mind. Occasionally you can paint them out and they just don't look like they're there, but something like that right on the front, it might be quite noticeable, so check that out in a bit. Right, thank you very much. Hope everything's going well with you, and we'll catch each other soon on another video.